Hello YouTube, Luminous Star here. Welcome to my channel, Luminous Star. If this is your first time visiting, welcome. And for current subscribers, you guys know you are truly my stars. Mwah! Thank you so much. Sending you a big, juicy, glossy kiss today. Thank you so much for your subscription. Well, today's video is going to be a presentation that I created. And as you can see here from the title, this is the subject that's going to be discussed. Now I'm going to go ahead and try to wrap this up in about 15 to 20 minutes. So I want to thank you in advance for your patience. Okay, now if anyone, matter of fact, before I even get to that, let me go ahead and forewarn everyone who's watching that some of the issues and some of the information and the views that I'm going to be sharing in this video, some of you may not be ready for. It may, you may find it to be disturbing, which that is understandable. Some of us who have gone through quite a bit at the hands of our mothers, there are some things that I'm going to be discussing in this video you may not be ready to hear. So may I suggest going ahead and watching this later, or going ahead and skipping it all together. So even if you never watched this video, I am not offended, none whatsoever. My aim is to inspire and motivate everyone and actually bring awareness about these types of subjects such as narcissism and dysfunctional families, abusive behaviors within our families, abusive behavior from people supposedly who say they love us. I'm glad that more people are becoming more vocal about this, because the more people who are vocal, the more awareness that there will be, and hopefully there will be a lot of changes after that for the better for everyone on the planet. Okay, so this is the work that I do, and my current subscribers, thank you so much for your support in the work that I do. I read the comments, I'm receiving the questions, and I just think it's so awesome. So thank you so much. You guys inspire me. You motivate me to continue to bring awareness about these types of subjects. Okay, so again, just be forewarned that some of the things discussed in this video will, may cause triggers and maybe unwanted or undesirable memories. So go ahead and set this one out, okay? And my best to you, for you guys who are going to be leaving, my best to you, and come back and see me for another video, okay? You're always welcome here to the Luminous Star. Okay, for the rest of us who are going to be, staying here, you guys are going to be spending the next 15 minutes with me. Thank you so much. And again, thank you for your patience. And I'm going to try to wrap this up in about 15 to maybe 20 minutes. Okay. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Okay, let's go ahead and jump right in. As you can see the title here, this is the subject. And this presentation was created by me, Luminous Star. And so I bring this to you. All right, here we go. Here are some of the points here. Point number 1. Within the construct of dysfunctional families, the role of each family member can become very obstructed and disturbing. There are often mixed messages, poor communication, poor listening skills, and enmeshment. This hostile environment can encourage some family members to behave abusively while finding excuses to do so for years, uninterrupted. Yeah, so narcissism and other personality disorders are also common within dysfunctional families. Okay, point number 2, in many cases, it is not uncommon to find that every family member within the dysfunctional family has a personality disorder and or suffers from mental illness. This is one of the main factors which determines whether or not a family is dysfunctional or fairly healthy. All families have conflicts. All families have conflicts. However, it is within the constructs of a healthy family that conflict resolution is practiced by all. Okay, now I want to say something about these 2 points. First point, it is not, there's a lot of enmeshment. I really want to zero in on that, because enmeshment means there's no personal boundaries. Mama, papa, mama, daddy, mother, father, siblings. No one practices personal boundaries. That's the first thing to go. And this is causing enmeshment. And it's very hard for people to really decipher themselves from everyone else in the family. In other words, there's no one who really has a sense of themselves, which is to me, that's horrible. You can't hardly figure out if who you are, yet alone who your mama is, or who your daddy, or no one else, right? So a lot of enmeshment can really cause the family structure to fall and become dysfunctional. Okay, now that means the roles of each family member is very obscured, and it can be disturbing. It's a hostile environment. Mama, she's not acting like a mom. Dad's not acting like a dad. Siblings are at each other's throats, and sibling rivalry is natural, but this is going over the top. It's just too much. So that's the first point. I really wanted to speak about that because some of us have experienced these things. And one of the things that I find that keeps a dysfunctional family dysfunctional is poor communication, poor listening skills, right? And I was talking about the enmeshment. These things really cause the dysfunctional family for generations to stay that way. Mixed messages, for instance, or for an example, your mom might say something to you about your brother. She'll turn around and say something about you to your brother, and it be messed up, and both of you don't know why you don't get along, your brother and sister, or your sister and sister, and there's always tension, and you can't figure out exactly why. Well, this is it. This is what causes dysfunctional families to stay that way for a long period of time. Okay, so I really wanted to talk about that. The second point I wanted to say is that all families do have conflicts. However, when conflict resolution is not practiced, which in dysfunctional families, it is a no-no. The reason why it's a no-no, conflict resolution is avoided in dysfunctional families because that means everybody's going to have to face reality that they are in a screwed up family. And there's changes that must be made. So as soon as conflict resolution is practiced, then that really, each family member, they are challenged to make some positive changes. First within themselves and then the other family members. Okay, so this is why mainly conflict resolution is avoided in dysfunctional families, whereas in healthy families, it is the rule of thumb. Conflicts occur even in the best of situations, even in the best and healthiest unions, whether it's a marriage to a family. All families have some issues, right? But conflict resolution can absolutely help everybody to grow together regardless of their differences. That means everybody can say, well, I know my brother is different from me or my sister is different from me in certain ways, but we're family. We love each other. I embrace what makes them uniquely them. So in dysfunctional family, this is avoided. And when there's a narcissist in the family, you bet your bottom it is going to be avoided, because that means personal boundaries, which is a part of conflict resolution, is a part of it. It kind of goes hand in hand, because if you're practicing conflict resolution, that means you have personal boundaries that say I am me and you are you, and we're both acceptable and it's okay. We agree to disagree. See, it kind of goes hand in hand. But when a narcissist, like if your mother's a narcissist, this is going to go right out the window. So I really wanted to elaborate on those 2 points. Let's move on. Okay, third point. The relationship of mother and daughter within the construct of a dysfunctional family can be seriously retarded. There are heartbreaking testimonies of this fact from many women worldwide. Unfortunately, there are generations of women who have and who are currently experiencing broken mother-daughter relationships. Point number 4, with all mother-daughter relationships, it is the mother and only the mother who sets the tone and determines the quality. She determines the quality of that relationship. The mother is the teacher within her community, and to all of her children that she carries within her womb, she is God. Now, most children see their mamas as God. This is natural. 5th point, many females who become mothers are not yet developed into womanhood. Most of you listening to this, if you're female, you're going to understand that sentence I just read. There are some females who are also suffering a personality disorder and or mental illness are impregnated by their partners. So in other words, you know, the females who are yet women, they're suffering, you know, some type of personality disorder. I'm sorry, I'm getting my words all mixed up. You guys, excuse me. They are suffering from a personality disorder and or mental illness. These females who are yet women, right? They're not women yet, but they're pregnant. They're going to become mamas. They're going to become somebody's mommy, but yet they're not, you know, they're not really equipped to become moms because they're not even women yet. Let me go back to point number 4. You know, with all mother-daughter relationships, the mom is the one who sets the tone. Absolutely. The child in her womb cannot set the tone. The mother sets the tone for that relationship. So when you have that mother-daughter relationship, really any relationship, child-parent relationship, if that parent is the mom, she sets the tone for the quality of that relationship. Is it going to be a poor quality, or is it going to be a healthy quality or a better quality? So when you have a mom who's a narcissist or has a cluster B personality, this is already broken down before she even bears her children. Unfortunately, it's already set. That dysfunctionalism is already set before she even gives birth to her daughter, because she is already having a personality disorder, and she may also be suffering from a mental illness such as depression. And I'm not talking about postmortem depression. I'm not talking about that. Postpartum depression. I'm not talking about that. This is something that's natural, yes, but the depression I'm talking about is a depression that the mom had before she even was impregnated. Okay, so let me move on. Okay, now these are examples of narcissistic moms. Childlike mischievous behavior. Okay, the mom is childlike, but she's mischievous in her behavior. Unyielding when conflict resolution is needed to maintain, improve, or salvage the mother-daughter relationship. The mother is not complying. She is being in opposition of her daughter on purpose, seemingly. So the narcissistic mother, most of us, we heard about this from other testimonies. It's almost like she's jealous of her daughter. She's in opposition of her daughter. She's always stirring up trauma between her and her daughter all the time, stirring up all kinds of conflict and trauma. You know, the daughter is traumatized because of it. All the conflict and all the drama, because the mom is being unyielding. She knows there's an issue, but she won't, the narcissistic mom will not admit to anything that she's done wrong. Absolutely not. She'll blame the daughter, if anything. Example number 3, manipulation. And this is emotional. She'll set things up to make the daughter, you know, look like the daughter is at fault. She wants to make herself look like a saint. The mother, the narcissistic mother, wants to look like the saint. So she wants her daughter to look like the she-devil, right? And this is very common, sad but common. So manipulation plays a huge part in the mother-daughter breakdown, okay? Abusive behavior such as sexual, verbal, emotional, spiritual, psychological, mental, and physical. The narcissistic mom will do all of these in order to get supply. Character assassination of her own child or children. Sometimes she'll just pinpoint her daughter, but sometimes she'll do character assassination to all her children to get that narcissistic supply. Jealousy and envy. I mentioned that before. The narcissistic mom, is jealous of her own daughter, envious of her daughter. Extremely competitive. She's always in competition with her daughter. And sometimes that goes hand in hand with the jealousy and envy. Her daughter does something to achieve something. She's got to do a one-up on her daughter. It's craziness. But this happens with narcissistic moms. Last example, sabotaging efforts of children or child to succeed in life. The children, now I'm going to go ahead and say the daughter. The mom, she'll go ahead and sabotage all efforts for her daughter to come up in life, to be happy, to have relationships. Maybe the daughter is grown now. She's about to get married. She's about to have children. The mom will sabotage that. We've all heard the stories. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and stop the camera right now and go ahead and come back for part 2. I didn't think I would do a part 2, but I'm going to go ahead and come back and do a part 2. And there's so much more I want to say about this. I don't think I'm going to be able to wrap it up in about 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so stay tuned for part 2.